There are typically three different types of insurance that you have inside superannuation. The first of those is life insurance. Basically covers for the death of a member as an insurable event. You have what's called total and permanent disability, or disability insurance, it's known as colloquially, which obviously deals with circumstances where someone is disabled, unable to work in an occupation for which they're reasonably qualified. And so it covers those type of situations. And lastly, typically what we've had in super is salary continuance or income protection as well. And that's simply where you have a temporary disability situation and you're looking to replace lost income over a period of time. So that can either be inside superannuation or outside superannuation, as can all three types of insurance really. But typically those three different types of insurance find their way and are offered through most superannuation arrangements. These types of insurance particularly can only be offered through self-managed superannuation funds and super funds generally from 1 July 2014 onwards for a particular reason. And that reason was that in some circumstances, in order to pay out a benefit out of superannuation, you have to have what's called a condition of release. That is that you have to have a certain set of circumstances apply before the trustee of the super fund can pay the money out to either the insured member or beneficiaries or dependents of the insured member in the case of their death. So what had happened in the past was some types of insurance, well, there was an insurable event and the insurance company would pay to the trustee of the superannuation fund. Nevertheless, the trustee was not in a position to pass on that money to the member because they hadn't satisfied this condition of release I mentioned. So from 1 July 2014, they changed the rules in superannuation in Australia to say simply that you have to have a automatic condition of release in relation to the types of insurance you offer through superannuation to ensure the trustee is able to pass that money through to either the insured member in the case of total or permanent disability or to their dependents in the case of a life insurance or death cover event. So that was quite a significant change that happened as of that date. What that means going forward is that only those type of insurance policies can now be taken out by trustees in relation to their members, so life insurance, TPD, or salary continuance or income protection. So insurance such as trauma or what's called own occupation total and permanent disability, where you may not have this automatic condition of release, can't now be owned by trustees of superannuation funds other than policies which were already owned prior to 1 July 2014. Yes, one other significant change I think that happened with the introduction of those regulations I mentioned was that the ATO changed their view on how the trustee of a super fund had to deal with insurance. It was not uncommon prior to that introduction of those rules that the trustees had some discretion in the rules of their fund as to how they dealt with insurance proceeds, and they may not have added it to the insured member's account. The tax office is very strongly of the view that from 1 July 2014 going onwards, the insurance proceeds must be credited to the insured member's account and paid out as a benefit, either to the dependents of a deceased member or to the member as part of their TPD benefit, which is a significant change in their position.